What is up, my friends? It is Sunday night. It is the late night agenda. And as always, it is my absolute pleasure to be here with you guys talking about, well, the weekend's results. A little look ahead to the games we have coming up this weekend. We'll be talking, of course, about the transfer window and whatever else it is that you guys would like us to go through this evening. It's going to be a bit of a more chilled one tonight, so let's have at it. Let's get stuck into it. Whatever topics you guys want me to go through, we can, of course, go through them. I'll have my own notes here prepared as well. And thoughts on the game earlier as well. You might have joined us on top of the league. Myself and Adam were over there for a watch along of the game at Goodison Park today. Manchester United trouncing Everton by 3-0 and puts them amazingly within 4 points of us, which I still can't quite get my head around, to be honest with you. Feels weird seeing United that close to us after what's been a shocking season for them so far, so hopefully we can put a bit more daylight between us and them. I'll be giving you guys an update on the record-breaking deal, or the very, very lucrative deal that Trent Alexander-Arnold has just signed. We'll be giving you as much of an update as we can on the Alisson situation, but until we get the results of the scan, none of us are really going to have an in-depth answer on that one. We'll be talking a little bit about Lucas Beraldo as well, of course, who's somebody that Liverpool have been linked with. And most though, I hope you've had a lovely weekend. It's I've enjoyed it. Loads of sport this weekend. Lots of football, boxing. It's just been a good weekend to sit back and relax. Hello, my adopted Scousers to John Brown. How are we, John? Nice to see you in. David Sharples, greetings as always. I see we had a Manchester City fan in the chat saying, embarrassing stream title. Maybe I'm being optimistic, mate. Maybe I'm being a little bit presumptuous, but I tell you what, it isn't as embarrassing as getting stripped of titles for being, well, filthy dirty cheats. So we'll hold off on the embarrassing stuff yet, mate. We'll get back to that. We'll revisit your comment when these 115 charges, because it will take quite a while for the authorities to work their way through all of those charges. You know, it's not 1 or 5 or 10 or 70 or 90, it's 150. But you know that already. You know that. So I would find that embarrassing, to be honest with you. If I'm being honest, if that was my club, I'd be mortified. Are people incapable of using Google? I don't know what you mean by that. As in, with Alisson, is it? Adam the Dude? With Alisson stuff? I'm not sure what exactly what that one was about. But anyway, we move on. Spurs lost, yes. So, look, consistency's the key, and we've got to give credit to Ange Postecoglou and Spurs, because they had their 3 Manager of the Month awards, which, you know, he's very well deserving of, and now Ange Postecoglou has another hat-trick of L's that he can hold up. So, consistency's key in this business, and look, in all due respect, I didn't expect Spurs to last in, you know, the entire season. They were very much going to be reliant on keeping James Maddison and Heung-min Son fit. And obviously Maddison is out now for a little bit, and that was always going to have a negative impact on them. But I'll tell you what the real surprising factor to me this season has been is how bad Chelsea have been. Like, just when I thought they were starting to get it together after the game against Manchester City, and a really entertaining open game, they just reverted to type, and even after going 1-0 up with a great Raheem Sterling free kick, they got their backsides handed to them by a Newcastle team that just wanted it more. A Newcastle team that were ravaged with injuries, but still outfought them, outplayed them, and outthought them. So lots of work for Mauricio Pochettino to do with Chelsea, and I'm here for it. I'm glad to see them in the middle of the table, because I don't have much love for Chelsea Football Club. Sterling made it 1-1. Sorry, my apologies if I got the timing of Sterling's goal wrong. Great free kick, by the way, from Raheem Sterling. I gave him the build-up to say, don't let him near it. Don't let him touch the free kick. And then, of course, he steps up and scores an absolute belter. But, speaking of belters, I have to address this. I had my fill of it earlier on, but Garnacho's goal. I mean, look, we're Liverpool fans, right? We don't want to see United doing well. We don't want to see Everton doing well. But we're also football fans, as I said earlier on top of the league. And as a football fan, just applaud the lad. That was a class goal. It really, like, he was going away from goal. He was backing off. And to make the connection he did, it's a early contender for goal of the season, surely. Hey, sexy. Oh, thank you, Colin. Congratulations on 228. Much love, bowl cut. It was. My parents used to call me Friar Tuck, mate, with that haircut back in the day. It definitely was a pudding bowl haircut. Craig, did you see the last season Man City won the Champions League? Football is dead. Did you say last season when football? Yes, I did. And well, I don't have a memory exactly of saying that, but it definitely sounds like something I would have said. So, yes, I'm pretty happy to concede on that. Yeah, I would have said that most likely. Imagine making up injuries only to draw. I mean, I love that, Giovanni. Can we take a moment to just sit on that for a second? Yeah, trying to get into our heads. We all seen right through it. Like, I don't know any Liverpool fan that actually thought that Ederson, Rodri or Haaland wouldn't be in the team. I mean, I had made some doubts about Ederson maybe, but I knew Haaland and Rodri were going to be there, so I never really paid much attention to that one. But what told me everything I needed to know yesterday at the end of that game was Pep Guardiola's handshake with the fourth official. That is why this title of this stream tonight is what it is, about us being in City's heads. They're starting to feel pressure. You see the real Pep Guardiola pop out in these moments. And he shook Jurgen's hand, no issues with that one. But watch him when he turns around to the fourth official. There is a sarcastic expression on his face because yet again, he doesn't understand. Why didn't we get the decision? Did they not get the memo? We're supposed to get these decisions. Sorry, Pep, but rules are rules. And you'll learn that eventually. Pep salty. Yes. Do you know what, though? To be fair to Pep, he's always been... Him and Klopp seem to have a lot of respect for each other. Let's be fair about it. They do. Both of them hold each other in very high esteem. But I seen cracks yesterday at the end of that game. I seen cracks in the mindset of that City team. And I think, like I've said, at the start of this season, and give me credit on this, I was early. Even when City were unbeaten, I was saying, I don't see the same City team. I don't see them being as daunting a prospect as they have been in recent years. So I'm convinced now that Liverpool... I'm not convinced we'll win it. I'm not that arrogant, but I'm convinced we're there. I'm convinced we're as good as anybody else. And if things go our way with regards to injuries, because look, everyone needs a bit of luck on that, there's no reason we shouldn't be there at the end of the campaign. We shouldn't be right there at the top of the table or within striking distance of it. I want to talk about Arsenal in a few minutes as well, because I want to get your thoughts on I think I don't want to say they're fooling the league, because ultimately results speak for themselves. And credit to them for grinding out that victory yesterday, because Brentford's not an easy place to go, and they kept going to the end, and Kai Havertz got them a winner. But I still don't see it. I still don't see that Arsenal team as been able to go through a consistent run of win, like we know City are capable of, we know Liverpool are capable of. I don't see it with Arsenal. I feel very confident when we play Arsenal on the 23rd of December that we're going to leave Anfield with a win. We're going to go into Christmas with those 3 points, hopefully after getting the victory over Manchester United the week before. Marcus said, Daddy, are you trying to tell me something, dude? Thank you for your super chat. Team A Bell said, what is up with Alisson? So all I can give you at the minute is Jurgen Klopp's exact quotes on Alisson and Diogo Jota. So he said, the shadow on this game is obviously that Alisson felt something and Diogo felt something. A little bit further into it, he said, I hope it's not that serious. He's speaking about Alisson here, but I don't have the answer. No clue at the moment what it is. I spoke to him and he said he only felt it a little bit, but we have to wait for the scan. So I went back and watched Match of the Day last night, as you do when Liverpool win, right? And you can see it. As soon as there was a back pass played to him, and it was the one where he hits it with the outside of his right foot into midfield. As soon as he hit that ball, that's where you can see him with the hamstring. So I know I didn't cop it until he went down just before the Manchester City corner, but that's the moment that he felt that tweak or that pain. So I hope that it's just fatigue because of obviously the travelling that he had to do, maybe dehydration in the muscle, I don't know. But I read something earlier on today from Alexis McAllister. Actually, I read it, but I think it was in his post-match yesterday. He said that when they were doing the team meeting for the game on Friday, they had their team meeting ahead of the game on Saturday. He could barely stay awake. He was that jet lagged and that tired. And he couldn't really take on the information as he would have wanted to because he was just absolutely exhausted with the travelling. So, I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling really happy with that result. It wasn't great. We didn't play our best. Definitely no arguments with it. But the history books don't care about your form or how you play. The history books just go off the results. And the result is we left the Etihad with a point. A point I said all week I personally would have been happy with. If we had played, if we had showed up, we could have beaten them. We could have. But all in all, I feel with the games we've played away from home now, which have been some difficult ones. We've had City away from home, Spurs away from home, Chelsea away from home, Brighton away from home, Newcastle away from home. And we're still 2 points or 1 point, 2 points off the top, 1 point off the champion. So, good weekend for me. Craig, Arsenal at the minute remind me of Chelsea 2 seasons ago under Thomas Tuchel. 3-horse race until Christmas when they're competitive and then they'll fall off. Your thoughts? I think it will take something big in the January market for Arsenal to last the pace. They have to really address the number 9 issue in a big way with a proven goal scorer. If they do that, if they can keep their centre-back pairing and their defence together, maybe they'll last the pace somewhat, but I still think they'll come up short. You know, and I don't mean to say this to be disrespectful of Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. They've done a great job. The way that he's rebuilding that club and the players he's brought in, he deserves all the credit he's getting. I'm not trying to be disingenuous or an asshole. I truly just don't see them being ready yet. I don't. Last year, I feel like, and I would say this as a Liverpool fan, I feel like the league table lied a bit. You know, we had a really poor start and we had too much ground to make up at the end. But I just don't see it. I really see it as being us and City as the two teams that are just that little bit above the likes of an Arsenal. A good bit above Spurs, if I'm being honest. Gabriel clown emojis. Brilliant, mate. Absolutely top notch. Are we a City fan with a Thor butt, perhaps? Gabriel, is that why you're calling me a clown? I mean, I'm okay to be called a clown, mate. I'm a clown with 228,000 friends behind me. I'm a clown who very much feels comfortable in my own skin. I'm on my opinions of Manchester City being the tin pot oil-rich Wigan that they are. I don't give a fuck if City fans hate me. I hope they do. They should. I'd hate me if I was a City fan. John Williams, thank you for your very kind super chat. Said, what pleases me most, Craig, is that if we win the league, and I think that we will, he said, we'll have done it the right way. Better than 10 titles built on fraud. Yeah. And same with Arsenal. And I promise you, if Arsenal go on to win the league, I'll be the first one on to congratulate them sincerely on a great job. It's not bitterness from me. It's not that Liverpool don't win the league so I hate everybody else. I know, you've seen me for years go on about City. I despise them. I despise what they are, what they stand for. I look at Manchester City as everything that's wrong with modern day society and business in a football club rolled up. You've got this adulation of somebody who's in it for nefarious reasons, but short-term success in your part of the world is okay to turn a blind eye to dodginess. And I'm being polite there. So, I don't give a shit if people hate me over it. I really don't care because it's my real feeling. I despise them because it's all, as John said, built on shaky foundations, and that's me being kind. Matip underrated, said Curtis Harvey. Could not agree more, dude. There was some people in our chat yesterday who were like pissed off that Joel Matip was starting that game, and I couldn't believe it. You know, Joel did have a period last year where he looked like he'd lost it. He didn't look the same Joel. But this season, whenever he's been asked to step in and play alongside Verge, I have to say I've been very pleased with what I've seen. So yes, that's why I applauded your comment, mate. He deserves it. Joel Matip has been a great servant to the football club. And also on yesterday, much love as well for Costas. I thought Costas did a great job. I cannot remember a single incident where I felt angry at Costas, or that he abandoned his position, or that he made a reckless play into midfield or anything. I thought he deserves credit for that performance as well. Why did Angry Jin say he'd knock you out? Fuck off. Angry Ginge better apologise if he even dreams about that. Come on now. As if I'm going to let some little ginger twat near me. Mate, stop, will you? Angry Ginge wouldn't knock my wife out, mate. Fuck me. If he really said that, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. Fuck me. That's probably the most hilarious thing I've heard all day. Mate, stop. Stop now. Honestly, you don't even want me to get into that. Do you know what I mean? Fuck me. Mate. Honestly. Oh, I don't know how to react to that. Because there's a couple of things going through my mind. One, I don't know the dude. Never spoke to him. Have fucking no interaction with him whatsoever. So, let me just say this. If we ever meet, he'll have his chance to knock me out. And I guarantee you, he'll be like everybody else. He'll be all this until he sees me in person, and then he'll ask me for a photo. Like everybody else that gives it all this online. So, let him talk. But if we ever cross paths, he'll have his opportunity. Take your shot. Please take your shot. You sad little twat. Fuck me. If he said that, that's hilarious. Like, oh my God. Anyway, we move on to non-ginger items on the agenda. Craig, what's the Nunes-Guardiola issue? I don't know, is the honest answer. It was all something and nothing. I mean, it's been blown out of all proportion. It was a nothing incident, really, if you look at it. But I don't know what was said. Ryan Appreciation, I think he's the key to win, said Mr. Colin. Look, Gravenberch made a difference when he came on yesterday. Yeah, made a big difference when he came on yesterday. So, I mean, did he really say that? I'm still laughing at the little ginger twat. Did he really say that? Like, in what context? In what context have I annoyed him? By existing? By being better than him? By being relevant? I don't fucking know. That's weird. If he said that, that's very strange. What else have we got in the chat? I still don't like Macca playing as a 6. He held his own yesterday, said Ayaz. I thought he was good yesterday. I thought he was good. I thought he was certainly able to hold his own against a very tough City midfield. So I can send you it if you want. Oh, so he really did say it. If he really did say it, then fuck me. Have a pop, fella. Please, by all means, have a pop. Mr. Angry Ginge. Fuck me. Honest to God, that's hilarious. Craig, it's a family show. No, it isn't. It's my show. It's not a family show. Does this say PG anywhere in the title, mate? Do I ever profess to not be me? So I'll swear and talk and do whatever the fuck I want, and you can make your own decision on whether it's a show for you or not. But don't tell me how to speak. I'm not afraid of swearing. Nobody should be afraid of a bit of swearing, dude. I'll make my argument again. If I'm on here swearing and you think that's going to corrupt the youth of today or is going to offend somebody, genuine question, would you rather I came on here and didn't swear, but gave people morals about misogyny or anti-gay rights or hatred in any way? Because remember, it's the content of what a human being says that's important, not the swearing or not swearing. So this whole stuff about swearing is really weird. I can show you many content creators who don't swear, but that preach negative stuff and are hateful and that corrupt the mindset of young people. Or I can show you me, who's honest and swears, but gives a positive message. I mean, people need to get over this shit. Nobody dies from anyone swearing. Like, grow up. I hear you're a racist now, Father. I don't have the time to dedicate to it fully, Stephen. You know, is that the church's official stance? I got your Father Ted reference, mate. What's your opinion on Aston Villa's amazing performance and start in the Premier League? Just what you've said. Was that Dania? Yeah, just what you've said, Dania. I think the job Unai Emery has done there is impressive, and for Aston Villa to be as consistent as they are, to have gone to Spurs today and left with a 2-1 victory after going 1-0 down. You know, we know that he's building Villa Park into a bit of a fortress. Their home form is amazing, but you cannot but be impressed with what they've done, with how they're building their team, and the job that Unai Emery has done at Aston Villa. I mean, they're real contenders for a Champions League place, and they're a club that are backed by people who are serious and want Villa to continue to go in that direction and want Villa back in Europe and back being a big club. So, yeah, look, I tried to be honest in all these things, and he deserves full credit. Full credit for what he did and what he's doing. That's my favourite comment in it. Prez Salah said, Craig, my pet unicorn died because you swore. I'm absolutely fuming. Mate, just send me the details of the funeral. I'll make my way, and I'll send a personal apology to your pet unicorn. Spurs being Spursy again. Look, I have to say they are, but I do really, really like Ange Postecoglou. I think he's a breath of fresh air for the Premier League. I think he's a throwback type manager, and there's a lot to like about him. But I never ever thought they were going to be consistently able to challenge. So look, let's talk about Trent for a minute, because I'm sure you guys probably know this already. James Pearson, The Athletic, has posted about it. You've probably seen the ad as well that Trent posted, but Trent has signed a lucrative boot deal with Adidas that will make him one of the highest paid players in Europe, according to James Pearson, The Athletic. And congratulations to Trent. I mean, the video he posted is beautiful, speaking about 2005, when he came to the game, obviously with Istanbul as well, being a real moment that sparked his love even more so with football. Spoke about Madrid being his own Istanbul when Liverpool won the Champions League, and he's back with the Adidas boots. So again, well earned, Trent. And do you know what I particularly love about this? I love that Trent's going to make a shed load of money, but that we don't have to pay it to him because it's Adidas's money. So we don't even have to sit back and go, oh, well, whatever about his wages. That's Adidas's money. Give it to Trent. Brilliant. So happy for him. And what a goal yesterday as well at the Etihad. You know, dare I say it, shades of Stevie G. Because we needed something in that game. And for one of the rare occasions where our forwards probably weren't going to deliver it yesterday, and that in itself is a rarity because we know how potent and how brilliant our attack line is. So for Trent to step up and deliver, what a moment. I've not seen the amount of money that Trent's getting from Adidas, but I mean, fair play. Go get paid, fella. And what a brand to be working with as well. So well done to Trent on that. Sponsoring the Craig Johnson Bad Boys. Yes, he of course was the man who invented the Adidas Predator boots. Former Australia and Liverpool player Craig Johnson. And yes, RIP to Terry Venables as well. We touched on it earlier on today, but I want to just reiterate it here. Again, Terry Venables was a real good football man through and through. Never managed any of the clubs or anything that I was obviously a supporter of, or, you know, nothing to do with my country, but he was a great at the game. And his big smiling face and his thundering laugh, and you couldn't but like Terry Venables. So yes, it's another big loss to the game of football, and nothing but condolences, love, of course, respect to the Venables family and to the greater footballing family on his passing at 80 years of age today. It was certainly sad news to see today when I got up. How much money they get for about one goal and one assist? I don't know. Depends on the bonuses. I remember seeing a leaked contract of Bobby Firmino's bonuses, and they were pretty hefty. the goal scoring bonuses that Firmino was on at the time. Do you think Guardiola could manage Núñez? Oh, absolutely. Look, they're both fiery, emotional characters. You know, Guardiola's, very fiery individual. You don't get to the level as a footballer and as a coach that he has done, but not having that fighting spirit. And Darwin's the same. So, look, yesterday was a nothing incident for me. I certainly don't think we should dwell on it. Both, it was nothing. It was weird. It's just, I don't know why it's been made so much of in the media. Craig, I was watching a video of an Arab YouTuber who's a Liverpool fan. He said that Núñez's problem is he thinks about the celebration with the fan before he thinks how he's going to score the goal. I mean, I don't know how you come to that conclusion. I mean, I don't know the gentleman in question speaking about Darwin, but I don't know. Look, I love Darwin. And unfortunately, part of Darwin is sometimes the crazy, stupid misses. But the other part of Darwin is the magic, the Newcastle moments. So, look, he's at the right place to develop, working with the right people and backed by the right fans. So, just Darwin, just keep being you. Keep being Darwin. Some more comments. So on Darwin, actually, thank you for segueing me into this. So Liverpool now have to pay Benfica an additional £8.5 million, about €10 million, because yesterday was Darwin's 60th appearance for Liverpool, and that triggered one of the clauses in the deal we had with Benfica, where it was up to €100 million, including add-ons. Yesterday he made his 60th appearance, and that, according to the Mirror, was the one of the triggers for an additional payment of £8.5 million. Like I always say, if Liverpool have to pay all that money to Benfica and all of those clauses are triggered, it's because things are going well. So I have no problem with that money being paid. The more he delivers, the more we'll have to pay them. But I don't care, because it means that he's doing something right. So long may that continue. Someone said, I can confirm that Ginge didn't say that. I said more than that, to be honest. A bit too far. I don't care. In all honesty, mate, I don't care. If he said it, whatever. If he didn't say it, whatever. I really couldn't give a shite. As I said, I don't know. I don't know if you're on a wind-up, if you're serious, but I really don't care, because I don't know the lad. He doesn't know me, so his opinion on me is irrelevant. But if anybody ever wants to threaten me, I'm not hard to find. Come up, as I keep saying. See me out and about, you see me anywhere, you've got something to say to me, come up and say it to me. I don't do my talking like this. You know, I'm sound. You won't have to struggle to find me. I won't be hiding in a corner anywhere. But again, weird. Right, what have we got? Done that. Sorry, I'm flying through my own notes here. Beraldo. So, again, reports today suggest that Liverpool are big favourites to sign the Sao Paulo centre-back, Lucas Beraldo, 20 years of age, and look, that's where my knowledge stops. I'm sure some of you guys are going to be able to help me out on this one. I'll be fully of the YouTube clips trying to find out about Beraldo. I'll be honest with you, I'm going to spend some time tonight having a look, because I can't say I've watched them playing with Sao Paulo. But if we are after him, let's just hope we get it done. If he's who Klopp wants, get it done. I'm sorry to the late live stream, Craig Holden. You spelt my name wrong, Jason. My name isn't spelled H-O-L, it's H-O-U-L, weirdly, I know. What's this? I've seen somebody said about Katie Taylor. Where is it? Because I don't need any excuse to speak about Katie. Craig, did you see that huge win for Katie Taylor last night? Oh, stop, will you? It was incredible all around last night. As a spectacle, as an event, the atmosphere. And I've got to hold my hands up. You know, I was at the first fight. Myself and Connor were there, with thanks to our friends at Oosh. We got tickets to the first fight. And Chantel Cameron won that fight hands down, deservedly. Looked too big, too strong, too young, and you could see the step up in weight. So I have to say, even allowing for adjustments, I didn't see last night's outcome happening. But that's what makes the greats, right? That's what makes Katie Taylor what she is, an icon. And both ladies deserve a trilogy, and both ladies deserve a massive payday for that trilogy. So I hope we get Croke Park. I hope Katie gets that send-off from her career, the adulation that she deserves of 80,000 Irish people at HQ, showing the respect that we all feel and the admiration we all feel for Katie Taylor. So, yeah. And look, I can't speak highly enough of Chantel Cameron either. Just a true champion in and out of the ring. And I've nothing but respect. That's all I can say on it. Like, I've just got so much respect for both those ladies and both those 20 rounds that we've seen in total between the two of them. Phenomenal. And I hope last night anybody who watched it seen what it means to have boxing back in Ireland to us Irish people, because for the longest time there was no boxing events in Ireland because of issues. And to have it back, you can see we're a boxing country. We love our boxing, and it was incredible last night. So well done to Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and everybody that made that show possible. And let's see the trilogy. Any news on Jota or Alisson's injuries? Nothing new, and I don't think we will really hear anything until we get the results of those scans, which will probably come in the next day or two. You know, I don't even want to second guess it, because the truth is, it would just be that, a guess. Here's a great question from Jamie. He said, Craig, what do you think our best midfield is? So if I was picking a midfield now to play, let's say, Manchester City at home in the reverse of yesterday's fixture, McAllister in the 6, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. That would be my 3. I think Ryan Gravenberch has been an absolute joy to get to see. Growing confidence, growing stature since he's come to Liverpool. Szoboszlai has to play. So yeah, that would be my 3. I was disappointed with what I seen from Curtis Jones yesterday, but, you know, that's okay. Jones has certainly earned the right to have a poor game yesterday. He's been very good over a long period of time. Elliott, I really like, but I don't know where he starts, if he starts. So yeah, that would be my 3. McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai. What do you think of Pep having to wave his arms up and down to try boost the Etihad? Look, this is the crux of what I've been saying all along. So we have this media and Manchester City version of what Manchester City think they are and what we're all expected to believe as football fans that they are, about this amazing club with, you know, all this glory and a great set of fans and a growing presence in the world of football. Bullshit. We know. There are a loyal, hardcore, really top-level group of City fans. There are. But they would fill one of the stands in there, and I don't know what he expects. It's City. You're not going to get an Anfield. You're not going to get an Old Trafford. You're not going to get an atmosphere. It's City. They're soulless. Yeah. Look, if you can't get up for that, and yes, it was a shit kick-off time, and I'm going to give them that, because it was. 12:30 is not great. But that's what they are. That's why they aren't the force we're being sold that they are. They aren't. They just aren't. We got lucky with that disallowed goal. See, I don't think we did. Like, I agree with everybody that says it's soft. I do, of course I do. Like, I'm not an idiot. But you can't impede a goalkeeper going to catch the ball. You just can't do it. Whether your hand is on his arm or you're hanging out of his arm, you're still going to be seen to be impeding him in the motion of catching a ball. Same way you can't impede a keeper when he's kicking the ball, you can't impede a keeper when he's releasing the ball. It was obviously... If it was a defender, that wasn't getting ruled out. If they were two defenders, if that was Van Dijk jumping yesterday and he loses a header because of that and Diaz scores, that goal stands and we all say no problem. But you can't jump into a keeper and even put a hand on his arm when he's jumping. Alisson was weak. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. He should have done better in that moment. But it's a free every day of the week. And it always will be. So... I don't get it. I don't get, like... I get football people, when the result doesn't go their way, they want a scapegoat. They always look for a scapegoat. Hell, I've done it a lot when we haven't gotten results. But I have to say, I thought yesterday, I thought the game was officiated well. I have no issues around anything yesterday. People say, mate, of course you don't. Liverpool got the rub of the green on that one, but... I think it was the right decision. Hand on heart, I feel it was the right decision. Like, we can say it's soft, but it's still a foul on the keeper. Foul on Alisson isn't subjective, sorry, it's straightforward. It is, Rav, and there is this... Do goalkeepers get overly protected? Yeah, but they always have. It's not a new thing. It's like the quarterback in American football. They get overprotected as well because they have to be. Same with a goalkeeper. I don't get the furore over that one. I don't. Alisson had a bad game. But to be fair to Alisson, listen to what McAllister said about his own situation, that he barely was able to stay awake in the player meeting because he was so tired from travelling. And remember, they were all on the same flight. So I'm not surprised at all that maybe Alisson wasn't switched on yesterday. Because he's tired, he's exhausted. And we know Alisson, right? We know Ali. We know that's not Alisson Becker. Like, we've seen this lad for years now. And look, he has a mistake occasionally with the ball at his feet. And yes, he had one of them yesterday. But I would never view him as being weak under a challenge or lapsing in concentration. So I think it is what it is. But ultimately, look, we left there with a point. And I'm happy with the point. Craig, can you also start giving the whole team a rating in your player ratings videos? I'm running out. I can't fit much more in them, mate, to be honest with you, because I like to keep my videos, where possible, between 8 and 9 minutes. And the player ratings videos, when you bring in the subs and the manager, you're into 10, 11 minutes. And I tell you what I could do, though. We could find a way to do a poll in the match reaction where you guys give them a rating. So let's say we say 4 or 5... Or maybe we go 5, 6, or then 7, 8, 9. Something like that. Because you can only have 4 votes. We can definitely work it into the show. Looking sharp. Sorry, your name's Laser Sharp. I was just throwing random words together there, dude. Craig, looking at the fixtures, it's very likely we'll be top of the league come Christmas. I was looking at them myself earlier on. And they're pretty kind. And then, you know, we lead up. I think we've got Fulham, Palace, Sheffield United. Then we've got Manchester United on the 17th and then Arsenal on the 23rd. So 2 big games there right before Christmas. Alan Thomas, thank you for your super chat, mate. And thank you, Laser Sharp, as well, buddy. You're very kind for that one. Hey, Craig, hope you and your family are doing well. Don't let the trolls or jealousy content creators get to you. They're only jealous because they know who the Lord is. No, see, here's the thing that gets to me. And again, I still don't know if this Ginger comment was true or not. But it's kind of irrelevant. The thing is, right, I don't have any issues with anybody not liking me or anybody disliking what I say. But you don't get to judge me as a person. And certainly when it gets to the knock him out nonsense, you don't know me. Like, I can't imagine a world where somebody I've never spoken to makes me so angry that I make it such an outlandish statement like I want to punch someone's head in. It takes a very insecure, weak person to come out with something like that. So they don't get to me. I only really care about the opinion of people who know me. Because anybody that knows me, and I'm going to be nice about myself for a minute, knows that I'm an extremely caring, extremely loyal, extremely generous, extremely sincere person. And if you don't like me, you don't like my opinions, that's fine. But just keep my fucking name out of your mouth if you don't like me, you know? Don't be giving it this, because we all know most people will cower down to snivelling little grovelling children when we come face to face. So that's what I don't understand. How somebody who's never spoken to me would be that worked up. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Gary Neville said that we should try buy a new right back. We can push Trent higher up. Was that not Carragher? I know it was said from the Sky team, but I thought it was Carragher that said that. So here's the problem I have, right? If we do that and we bring in, let's say, Frimpong, for argument's sake, and you move Trent into midfield, okie dokie, but who are you dropping out of midfield? Who doesn't get a place? That's what I don't get. Like, it's all very well and good saying put him into midfield and all, but somebody's going to miss out then. And Trent isn't a DM, and nobody will ever convince me that he is. So if you want the best out of him, I think we have to change system. Because we've got Szoboszlai, he's going to be a nailed-on starter. And you've got Gravenberch, McAllister, Endo, Bajcetic, Jones, Elliott. I just don't see the space. Like, where do you play him? 3 at the back I get. Now I get that, Stephen. But we've seen no indication from Jurgen to go to a 3 at the back. I've long wanted us to try that. Because if you look at the collection of centre-backs that we're building up, I think we're getting to a place where we can look at a 3 at the back system. But Klopp's never really shown us that that's a system he wants to go to full time. Now, of course, when we're in possession at the moment, we do go to a 3-box-3 midfield. But yeah, if we do that, absolutely, there's a way. And I wouldn't be against that at all. You know, I wouldn't. No, I'd be very much on board with that one. Neville was quite complimentary of Trent in Liverpool yesterday. To be fair, he's spoken fondly about Trent and his attributes for a while, Gary Neville. I'll give him that one. The second Matip gets injured, none of this can happen. I think it causes a bit more of a concern, but like, let me pitch this one to you. If you went to a back 3 and you had Van Dijk central, Kanade right, and on the left-hand side then you went for Jarrell Kwanzaa, as an example. I'm only using the example with your Matip out situation. I think we could still pull that off. But, yes, if you're going to play 3 at the back, to me you need 6 centre-backs at the club. And we've got, right now, if let's say we sign Lucas Beraldo, as an example. You've got Lucas Beraldo, Virgil van Dijk, Kanade, Jarrell Kwanzaa, and then you've got a decision to make on Matip, and you've got Joe Gomez. So do you give Matip a new deal? Do you bring Sepp van den Berg back? I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on some of the comments here. I think you're a nice chap. I don't agree with some of your opinions, but your content I find you very entertaining, albeit your anti-city agenda is getting boring. But it's not an agenda, Leanne, sorry. It's not an agenda. Like, you're making it out like I'm just inventing 115 charges. I didn't charge Manchester City with 115 charges. I read the Court of Arbitration for Sports findings. I've watched numerous documentaries and pieces on the situation. I've spent a lot of time reading from their Spiegel articles back in the day, from the investigations from the who did the investigations? The Mail, on the secret court hearings that they were looking to do. It isn't an anti-city agenda. It's a pro-football agenda. And if you don't see that, mate, I really think you're in for a rude awakening down the line. Like, why do you think I might have picked out Manchester City? You've never heard me have a similar mindset about United or Arsenal. There's two clubs I've been consistent on over the years, PSG and Manchester City. And I've been at this for 5.5 years now, saying the same thing. It's an anti-city agenda from the perspective of you've got a lot to answer and you're doing everything possible to make it difficult to resolve the situation. So you can come out publicly as a club and say, we want this resolved quickly. But when your actions of blocking investigations and strong-arming people every step along the way makes the reality different. So, again, I hear you, but I'm also not going to back down 1 inch. Because I know I'm right. I know Manchester City are making a laughingstock out of English football and the Premier League, and that they've pulled the wool and stuck 2 fingers up to every other club and every set of fans and every genuine, sincere person that goes to work every day in those 19 other football clubs in the Premier League to find ways legally to make their clubs better. Whether that's through improved scouting, whether that's through data and metrics, whether that's through coaching. So, it's weird that you don't see this. Like, again, unprecedented amount of charges. Dude, come on, like... I don't think other clubs should be able to be backed by entire countries. It basically invites the same situation with City. Again, one of the few people who from day one said, I don't want state ownership of football clubs. Because, remember the word jeopardy that I keep banging on about? It's not hard to say the biggest number. You know, if you've watched, what's that TV show with Brian Thingy in it? How am I drawing a blank on this? Succession. If you've watched Succession, you'll know this line. Well done, idiots. You said the biggest number. When it's never-ending amounts of money, do you think I couldn't run a football club where I could just give everybody out really lucrative contracts all the time, or couldn't go out and buy in players? It's not hard to say the biggest number, but it is hard to do it the right way. So when you've got never-ending amounts of money, and it doesn't matter if you lose money, and your sponsorship deal that's supposed to be 40 million is only actually 8 million, and Etihad Airways are only agreeing to pay the 8, and the rest is coming from elsewhere. None of this is hard. It's hard to do it the right way. It's hard to get up every day and go to that shitty job that you don't like doing, but you know you have to do it because you have a family to look after. So that's why I'm so emotional about all of this, is because I see this as a tipping point for football in general, where this financial bubble, it has to burst because it's getting grimy and greedy and greasy. And somebody has to say enough is enough. You know? That's where I'm at with it. Have you seen the Garnacho goal? Oh, just outstanding. Outstanding. You know, what really got me about the Garnacho goal was that he was backing away from goal when he hit it. Like, if you watch, he's stepping towards the edge of the penalty spot. So he has to make an adjustment And the contact is just spot on. You know, you can't love football and not stand there and just be in awe of a strike like that. It was a phenomenal goal from Garnacho, it was. If Man City can follow the rules which are laid down with the Premier League, then is enough to kick them out of the league. A lot of this is uncharted territory at the minute. Like, we've seen the Everton situation, right, for a breach of profit and sustainability, and a 10-point deduction for a £19 million overspend over a 3-year period. So if that's a punishment for a club that opened the books up and cooperated with the investigation and were found guilty, you have to genuinely ask, have the Premier League set themselves a very dangerous precedent there? It's difficult. It's difficult to know what the right answer is. The only thing I'm certain of is that if Manchester City get found guilty, I don't want the titles to be stripped off them and given to anybody else, because it's hollow for everybody else. It's hollow for the clubs that get those titles or those trophies. I would rather just an asterisk beside those years with an explanation as to why nobody in the record books will have those titles. What happens to them as a club? You never want to see a football club go out of existence because of the fans. You don't, because you think of the fans, like, because of the loyal fans. But here's the thing. In life, we all have time for apologies. We all have time for mistakes being made and people putting their hands up and getting a second chance. But when these same people, and I'm talking about Manchester City fans here, have buried their heads in the sand, have doubled down, have leaned into it, have repeatedly come back over and over again in their denials and their denials and their denials, and use whataboutery at every turn. I see them now online. I see videos saying Liverpool are the proven cheats, blah, blah, blah. Why does it always have to be a case of what about? Granted, we can talk about anything Liverpool have done. We can have that conversation. But can we address the conversation with Manchester City without the smoke and mirrors or the deflections? So I struggle to find sympathy in this instance, because there's no regret. There's no sorrow. It's prove it is basically what they're saying. So honestly, fuck them. If they're found guilty, do what needs to be done. It's not for me to say what that punishment is, but throw the book at them, because they have done their best to make sure that they got away with it and that they hindered the investigations at every turn. That's not a club. Like, I have a far more understanding of the situation at Chelsea and at Everton. Chelsea, the current situation with Todd Boehly and his investors is they came in when they bought the club, they've looked at the books, they found irregularities in payments, and they immediately reported that themselves to the Premier League. And the Premier League are going to investigate. Now, this isn't talking about Boehly and what money he spent in the windows or anything. This is merely about this one thing. That's a club that I would say show some restraint to, because they have tried. They put their hands up like Everton and said, something's not right here. So that's the difference for me. I would say show leniency to those clubs who have genuine remorse for what they've done. But what are we losing as a football world if City are obliterated? Nothing.
Okay, I found this on the web for if City are obliterated. Check it.
Even Siri's agreeing with me. Is there any proof of what? City? There's lots of it. Lots of it. Even read the rulings from the solicitors at CAS and UEFA. Every single person that's looked at this has come to the conclusion they cheated. So you don't have to listen to me, but look into it yourself. Watch the documentary, Britain's Biggest Football Scandal. Watch it. And you'll see everything I'm talking about in detail by journalists, exposed in black and white. You don't have to listen to it, what people think is a bitter Liverpool fan. Don't listen to me, but do your research on it. Do you believe Everton should swap the relegation side with Leicester? It's difficult. It is difficult because I do understand Leicester and the other sides that were relegated, their frustration at all of this. Because if this fine was imposed last year, you know, one of those teams probably don't get relegated and Everton do. But it isn't on me to solve these things. That's for the Premier League. That's why they get paid the money they get paid. So they need to resolve it and they need to sort it out. Because it's understandable why other clubs would feel pissed off about the Everton situation, but it's also understandable why Evertonians would feel pissed off by the situation. Craig, all this denial is textbook PR propaganda. Mate, I know. I compare it to Lance Armstrong. I did nothing. This is victimization. This is the journalists that don't like us. This is jealousy. This is, I did nothing. Oh yeah, sorry, I cheated. Years of denials. You know, pointing fingers at everybody else. But then all of a sudden, yeah, I did it. Leicester will be back in the Prem next season anyway. They've done really well to go down and look like they're coming straight back up. It's not an easy division to get out of the Championship. Here in the Caribbean, enjoying the show, bro. Great job. Really appreciate you. Much love, my friend. It's been a long time since I've had the pleasure of being back in the Caribbean. I certainly hope to get over there again someday. Like, ask yourself this, Manchester City fans that don't like me. Why have I gone out of my way to be so outspoken? Like, it would have been easier for me to say nothing and just carry on about my business, support Liverpool, speak about what Liverpool do. What do I benefit from being so outspoken? It would have been easier for me to say nothing. But as I keep saying, I love this sport. It's been my life since I was a child. Whether it's playing it, watching it, trying to break it down tactically, trying to learn more about it. And when I see the sport being ruined, and look, Manchester City alone haven't ruined football, but I tell you what, FIFA, UEFA, the governing bodies haven't half sold us football fans short with lining their own pockets with greed and dirty money and grubby sponsorships. So it gets to the point where we have to just say enough's enough. We just have to. We need our sport back. To play devil's advocate, maybe you think you enjoy their demise, but there's been no demise. So what would I have enjoyed so far? Like, there hasn't been a demise. When you've got emails saying in very clear language that Etihad's 40 million sponsorship is only going to be made up of 8 million actually being paid by Etihad, and the remainder of that being paid from the government or the royal family, and that's just one deal, and that happens over and over again. Again, watch the documentary, and I hope that would at least give people an idea of why I feel so strongly. And here's another one that I didn't know until I watched the documentary. I think it was certainly less than a week before Manchester City's appearance at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Look who's in the director's box at the Etihad. It's Alexander Keferin, the UEFA president, a few days before that big hearing. And remember, UEFA had already charged City and thrown them out of Europe for 2 years and fined them. And that was appealed and it went to CAS. Does it not feel a bit fucking suspect that you then have Alexander Keferin sitting there beside one of the most influential figures in that neck of the woods from Abu Dhabi. The documentary's on YouTube. It's free for everybody to watch. Britain's biggest football scandal. It's on YouTube. If you want more reading, Google Der Spiegel and the Manchester City leaks. Look at football leaks and the information that came from... was it Rui Pinto? Was that the dude's name? The Portuguese guy that hacked in. What do you think about the Champions League 5th spot in the Premier League? So it feels like... This feels to me like a trade-off with some of the bigger clubs in Europe from UEFA. So Super League didn't happen. UEFA managed to block that. Fans came on side. We all spoke about it. But it feels like this was the compromise that they came to. The redone Champions League with the 36 team, one big group with 8 games for everybody, and an extra couple of legacy places going into the leagues that have the highest UEFA coefficient, which currently are the Premier League and La Liga. So in theory, if it stayed this way, those 2 leagues would get an extra Champions League place. So you could now have 5 English teams in the Champions League every year. I'm okay with it, I think. That part of it, because look, if once you've got past the stage where you had to win your league to be in the Champions League, like the old days, once we've started opening it up and there's 3 teams and then a 4th playoff that became 4 teams automatically, now maybe 5. I mean, I'm okay with it, because ultimately we want English football to continue to develop and do well. We want the Premier League to do well, and we want our clubs to be attractive to the players that we want to bring in, the players that want to play on the biggest stage. So it's not the worst of it all, but I'm unsure of the format itself. Like, for those of you that don't know, everyone's gonna play eight group games in the Champions League this year. And what we're used to is having a group of 4 where you play 3 games home, 3 games away, and the reverse against each team. So let's say Liverpool had a group with Atletico Madrid, Porto, and Ajax. You play those teams home and away. But in this new group stage, every team will play 8 games, 4 home, 4 away, but not against the same teams. So you're going to have 8 different fixtures. And the one part I can't wrap my head around is, how can they differentiate between which grounds are more difficult to go to than others? So when you play everybody home and away, the same teams, well, that's it. You play them home, you play them away, you get your time to be at home, you get your difficult away trips. But what if your team got, I don't know, 4 really difficult away trips because teams have such an excellent record at home, their fans are amazing, the atmosphere is intimidating. I don't know how they can balance that out. If you've got half your games home, half away, but not against the same teams. So I think we're all going to be learning a lot next year with this new Champions League. Ridiculous new format. Look, I've got to be honest, I still don't fully understand it. The Swiss model is what it's called, but... So here's a quick poll on this one, because I do want to know your opinion. So I'm going to ask, do you prefer the idea of Liverpool, or whatever your club is, Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, whoever, do you prefer the idea of playing 8 different fixtures, different teams, or the old 3 where you were home and away? So do you like the idea of having 8 different teams entirely in the group stage that you play against, or would you like it to be the old home and away, let's say 4 teams for the extra games, 4 home, 4 away of the same team? Did they really confirm this system? Because it's so unfair. Imagine getting Porto and Shakhtar at home and then Madrid and Bayern away. So there will still be seedings, mate, and you will still play against teams, and you, in particular, coefficient slots. So in theory, you will still have that, not protection, but you will have weaker teams. You won't get a game where like Liverpool get drawn to play Barca, Real Madrid, PSG, fucking Juventus. You know, you're not going to get 7 or 8 impossible games in a group. But yes, it has been confirmed, and it is coming into fruition from next season. This is the last season of the old format of the Champions League. Would you ever want a studio? Yes and no. So I have plans for a studio for my back garden that I want to build, but it will be for me to work in alone, because I'm in my living room and I just don't have any space. So I do have plans to build something in the back. We're just trying to get the business to a point where it can afford it, but not from the point of view of what you probably think, like the United Stand studio. No, we won't go down that route. We'll stay green screen, even in my home studio if I make it. The Prem could have 5 Champions League spots in the new format. Nothing but a money grab. Again, I think it was the trade-off, Paul, you know, because the big teams always want more. Let's be honest, they do, and we're part of that. We're part of that greed. So yeah, this is the trade-off, I think, for making the Super League go away. You know, more money, more almost guarantee for these teams to be in the Champions League every single season. You know, that's one thing that the Premier League differs from a lot from other leagues. Like, I don't remember Real Madrid not being in a Champions League ever. I think of one season, maybe 2 for Barca. Actually, definitely 2 for Barca. But ultimately, in most countries, the same teams are qualifying every year. You know, you've got Bayern. Have Bayern ever missed the Champions League? I can't remember that either. You know, but in England, there has been that change. You know, every club has dropped out at some point, or another club come up, because top 4, top 5, top 6 changes. But in some countries, the money is set up and the TV funding is set up in such a way that there's always going to be clubs that are fighting for the league with 1 or 2 of them. Johnny? What are you shiting on about? Stop going on about it. We don't need a lecture. I'm answering a question, dude. Somebody asked me about the format of it, and I'm asking a question. So, go fuck yourself, you horrible little shit. And you're also slagging off Alisson as being dodgy. So clearly you know fuck all about football. And you're just into troll and have a go. You mean you nearly got me? You nearly riled me up. But you do need a lecture, mate. You very much need a lecture. But unfortunately for you, as an individual, you're not worth my time. Because you're a trolling piece of shit. So you don't get the benefit of a lecture because you're irrelevant. And you're clearly into just wind people up. So crawl back under your rock, go back into obscurity, fuck off and get on with your own life, and leave me here to have fun with my people. You get me? Again, bud, nobody turned on your computer. Nobody closed down all those porn tabs and opened Anfield Agenda, bud. That was you. Remember that. Know your place. Me so humble. I am humble. I'm very much am, mate. But I know my worth. And I know what and who I am. And I don't hide behind fake names. I'm not that much of a bitch that I have to be a coward and hide behind a fake name because I'm afraid of what the world will actually see of me. Takes a real insecure piece of shit to have fake profile names to spout their hate and bile because they know that if the world's seen that the person they really are is an asshole, that nobody'd want that to do with you. But that's your problem, Johnny. So, again, mate, I'm happy with me. I love my people. I'm comfortable with who I am. Are you? Porn tabs, yes, Craig. Let's be honest, we've all done that. Clear the last hour browsing history. Come on now, we've all done it. If you could end the season right now with a Carabao Cup, a Europa League, and a comfortable third or fourth spot, would you take it? Yes, sir. I would. No, I would. Because what you've given me there is a guarantee to go into the Champions League by winning the Europa League in Dublin. So I get to see Liverpool lift the European trophy in the city I was born in. So yes to that. Carabao Cup, nothing wrong with another little trophy on the way. A comfortable third? I'd rather a comfortable second than that scenario, but I'll take a comfortable third. And no title challenge. I'd take that. Yeah, because it would achieve everything I wanted at the start of the year. Silverware, Champions League qualification, and to look like we're going in the right direction again. So, yeah, I'd take that. Yeah. You've sold me, mate. Sign me up. Are you missing the Tuesday and Wednesday nights? Oh, do you know what the worst part about it is? It's the 2 p.m. Sunday games that really get me, because a lot of them aren't on TV. So when you play Thursday night, you obviously can't play Saturday. So you've got the Sunday 2 p.m. slot a lot of the time. And that's the part I've struggled with the most. But we didn't earn the Champions League qualification. That's on us. Private browsing exists now. No need to clear browsing history. I'm too lazy though, dude. That's the honest answer. I'm too lazy. Plus, I don't do it. Like, my computer that I use for streaming, honestly, this computer's never been used for anything outside of Anfield Agenda streams. I don't even turn this on during the day. Everything's done on my phone or my iPad. So my computer here is probably the squeakiest clean computer you'll ever see. Even with a good deep dive into it, like, I don't even do YouTube searches on it, nothing. So very comfortable for my hard drive to be checked. TOTTY2KZ1, thank you, buddy, for gifting 5 Anfield Agenda memberships. You're very kind. Any word on Alisson's new contract renewal? No, is he due one? I don't think Alisson's due a contract renewal. I think Alisson signed one like last year, if I'm not mistaken. The ones that I know are up next is Trent. He's going to have 2 seasons to go at the end of this season. Virgil van Dijk, there's been talk of him signing a new contract or getting a new deal. There's the question about Joel Matip and what happens there. But again, open to be corrected, but off the top of my head, I thought Ali signed the deal a while back. Did you watch the boxing? Oh, yeah. I didn't see the Benavidez fight. That was on Fight TV and I didn't have that. But I did watch the Katie Taylor card, and just a good night's boxing. Very good for Irish boxers, obviously with a clean sweep, I think. Although the Gary Cully fight was very close. It was a close fight, and I don't think anybody could complain if that went either way. But it was a great night's boxing. Again, to those asking about Alisson's injury, honest answer is nobody knows yet. The only thing we have from Klopp is that he said, I spoke to Alisson and he said he only felt it a little bit, but we have to wait for the scan. So I think you'll probably see news tomorrow, Tuesday perhaps. Ali's contract is until 2027. So yeah, I would see Alisson then as being the end of next season is when Liverpool would probably look to renew him. Clubs usually do these things with 2 years to go. Has any Irish team ever qualified for European Cup? Yes. Dundalk, was it? Or Rovers? Because remember, they played Arsenal and that as well. And I think it was Dundalk that played Spurs in Tala. So yes, there has been some qualifications for the Europa League group stage. But not, do you know what? Nothing for the Conference League, which has been very disappointing. When I heard that UEFA were bringing in the Europa Conference League, I thought, hopefully we get a bit of Irish participation in the Europa Conference League. But I'm open to being corrected, but I don't think an Irish team have qualified for the group stages of the Conference League yet. I think, was it Cork who were... No, not Cork. Was it Cork? Somebody was beaten in the playoff round, but I don't think we've qualified for group stage in that yet. What League of Ireland club do I support? I wouldn't use the phrase support because that's unfair to actual fans. But Shelbourne would be the club that would be the one that I went to games when I was growing up, because my uncles, a lot of them are Shelbourne fans. Just got back from 7-a-side football, a goal and an assist, not a bad outing. Watching this on the train home, keep up the hard work. Absolutely, mate, a goal and an assist, nothing wrong with it. But most importantly, mate, you're out, you're about, you're having a bit of fun with your mates, you're getting exercise, well in, keep it up. Proud of you, mate, well done. It was Dundalk. Which one was Dundalk for the... Because I remember somebody played Spurs, right, in Tala. And I remember then recently, I think, was it Rovers playing Arsenal? Most consistent player this season for Liverpool. Verge or Salah, probably. Alisson's been great, don't get me wrong. Usually the answer is Alisson. But looking statistically, you'd probably have to edge Verge. You know, he was, up until this week, and I don't know if it's changed, statistically the best defender in the top 5 leagues in Europe. So one of those three, Alisson, Van Dijk or Salah. Dundalk played Arsenal, there you go. Thank you, mate. Hello, Craig. Big fan from Dublin. What part? If you don't mind me asking, just out of curiosity, Irish guy, because obviously, being from Dublin myself originally, I just like to know. Quick question, Madison or Sexy Dom? Oh, Dom. Dominic Szoboszlai, every day of the week. Do like James Madison? The reason I'd edge the Dom more so is Madison has an injury record that would worry me about being able to get him through an entire season. Whereas Szoboszlai, I don't even think he's near his best yet, which is brilliant for us. But Corduff, nice one. Yeah, very... They're both really good players, and I can't say I haven't been really impressed with what Madison has brought to that Spurs team. He's really shown his class. Finglas for Paul, nice one. If I'm not mistaken, Paul, was there a shooting in Finglas recently? It makes me sad when we see these things in our beautiful city, but look, Helen McEntee and the El Garda Commissioner need to get their finger out, don't they? How many injuries have Spurs have? I don't know, Craig. You know, Madison's out, but I don't... Oh, Madison, Van de Ven. Other than that, I don't really know who's injured for Spurs. Another fantastic weekend of football from both streams. Thank you, Colin. It's been really great fun getting to know Adam a little bit as well on top of the league and sharing some streams. And I'm like, we'll have some streams this week on there. We'll be together somewhere. I'll be on my own. But tomorrow, before I head off, just a reminder, 8:30 right here tomorrow, myself and Leo's Goals will be meeting for the first time on a stream. I'm very much looking forward to catching up with him, congratulating him on his achievements and his own good work, and talking about Liverpool this season and the game this weekend as well. So I'm going to say goodnight, and I'm going to watch some NFL and chill out. But thank you again for everything. Do drop a like, do hit that subscribe button, and thank you just for being here with us and having some fun. Much appreciated. I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye.